the long term for people that drive horses some years ago was the cars. The long term for the taxi driver were Uber. So what's going on? In the long term for Uber, it's maybe autonomous taxis.
One thing that will inevitably come from autonomous driving and other AI innovation for sure, but especially autonomous driving, will be jobs displacement. So I'm just keen to get your thoughts. There's a lot of cynical views on this topic, and there's a lot of positive views as well, because I think with any technology innovation, new jobs get created. But I'm just wanted to get your thoughts on how you think AI will affect the jobs market in the automotive and driving services industries,
Yeah.
and what new skills will be crucial for future professionals in these fields.
That's a real deep discussion that it's ongoing. I start to discover autonomous vehicles maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And this question, it's really to be answered so far. The numbers I have, the information that I have in my perspective is yes, if you really look on how the transportation is organized today, we in many countries you don't have all the drivers you need today to really deliver everything because the society consumption society is really demanding. So to be honest, personally, I'm not talking for my company, I'm talking about my personal leadership in artificial intelligence. There are areas that we need more drivers than AI will take their job. So what happened? Those human drivers will continue to deliver things in areas where AI will not be applied for many years. So, which means that the goal is to have autonomous vehicles plus human-driven vehicles, and this hybrid mode will generate opportunities. In the long term, we all be dead. That's true. In the long term, what means? The long term for people that drive horses some years ago was the cars. The long term for the taxi driver were Uber. So what's going on? In the long term for Uber, it's maybe autonomous taxis like it we see so far. It's really
Yeah.
hard to see, but these changes takes a lot of years to be done. And what we can do so far, it's reskilling, upskilling of everything else. So,
Yeah.
because new skills are required, as you said. So it's required from the service perspective. So today, maybe you will not gonna be. I'm really generalizing because we are talking about things that's gonna hit us in 5, 10 years. So I can have plenty of time to correct myself what I'm saying here. But if you today we go, imagine a future where all the vehicles will be autonomous. For a consumer, it can be a paradise because you don't stress yourself in the traffic. But for the driver that works as a driver, maybe in 10 years we need to understand what are the new skills, right? So we need to have
Sure.
programs to train these people. So far, maybe they will work on service for autonomous vehicles. That's some areas, and we still need that. Even we don't know today. Maybe they will use their skills. They will sell their skills to companies that train those vehicles so far. Just hypothesizing that how you never throw the skills away in the garbage. You need to build process and systems that reuse those skills so far. And in other areas, there will be remaining areas where AI will not cover. And that's humans will also be there. I'm not talking about the boring thing that take a container to A to B. That will be AI. But what about take this container from Poland to north of Iceland?
Mm.
Considering all the challenges in the way, consider all the different regulations that we could have put in place. So it's better to really have humans driving, making this than really wait for 20 years to find agreements and governments on regulation between you leave German and you pass to Poland, you need other regulation. So there are things in the long term we don't have to worry so much because
Mm.
humans will really be the best option so far.
Can we go back to some of the ethical considerations that you talked about at the very start, our responsibility as leaders in the tech world? What kind of ethical implications do you think there might be when you're thinking about crossing borders and trade? Because clearly at the moment, everybody works on slightly different lines and slightly different standards.
Yeah, it's really complex if you think, I'm coming from Brazil that for you to leave a regulation, also in Brazil, you can travel 1,000 kilometers in the same country. So it's the same regulation. When you come here in Europe, you do 200 kilometers, you already crossed two borders. So
Yes.
this can be really complex from the
Mm,
regulation perspective. And
mm,
if you fully automate a vehicle, you need to take in consideration this. But not only the regulation. What about the salaries? What about
mhm,
the what people think about this in that specific
mm,
country? What about the political appetite for automation on that specific
mhm,
country that you are changing, crossing, etc.? What about the tariffs, the costs for everything? So there are many areas we need to put in place.
mm,
And
mm,
from the ethical perspective, I see every time I implement a solution AI, I ask myself, okay, we can do it, but should we do it? In certain case, should we do what we are doing with AI? Should this is the right way to solve the problem?
mm,
This is enhancing the overall quality of life of everyone that is impacted on this. So this kind of questions we need to put every time
mm,
we
mm,
implement artificial intelligence today and in the future. In autonomous, fully autonomous vehicles or fully automation or whatever we do, this is super
mm,
important to make the question before you automate. Once you fully automate, maybe it's too a little too late. But
mm,
there are
mm.
many ethical questions we need to put every time when you are putting AI. In this topic, it's really complex.